Oh, hey babes, your fairy wave godmother up in here. Let's chat. I've been out, been busy. Ain't done one of these updates or downloads, or whatever you want to call them, or spouts of wisdom. Lessons. Let's call them lessons. Because I think people need to know that this dynamic tension that's coming through, that exists right now, is actually a way for more of the divine to come in. This dynamic tension that, feels like the world is ending in some respects. And again, I'm referring to the United States in large part because that's where I am, but also I think the global collective. The tension is that the older ways of being and interacting with reality just on the human material level, they're breaking up. And the tension is some people aren't wanting to let go. Okay, all right, cool. See, I'm trying to do more of these videos so you can hear what I think, be with my energy, and hopefully find community. That's why I needed to start doing these more planet dust community just out there in large, right? But look, let's talk about being both. We are both human and spiritual beings. We are pure awareness. We're also human. You can be someone who is really strong and can navigate challenges. You can be someone who's just an utter and complete wreck. You can be both. And when all of these different factors converge, right? Stress from the outside, stress from the inside, you not knowing how to be, there's this really intense dynamic. There's this tension. And if you can imagine maybe each of these factors as like pew pew, like the laser beam, like pew pew, right? And let's just imagine them like shooting together, maybe making a triangle. And in the center of that is where the divine is going to come through. In the center of intensity is peace, is an opportunity to allow the synthesis, the new coming in, the old moving out, and the divine. And when I say the divine, I'm meaning the grander plan, the shit that we ain't got control over, because we ain't the top of the energetic chain. That's the universe. We just human. We are beings, we are souls who've shown up in this time and space to have experiences and really to experience this tension so that we can pull in more of the divine, because that is our true nature, and that is also the plan. That's part of the plan. There's something really interesting around human experience. There's so many things that are interesting about human experience, but let's talk about human experience in the terms of mental health, mental illness, and perceiving reality. I love when people say, I'm not okay. That's health. That's like waking up and saying, oh shit, my tummy hurts, or oh man, like, I got the sniffles. I ain't right. Your health is off. Same thing related to in here. Feeling depressed, feeling anxious. Not being able to make decisions with clarity. Not feeling empowered. All of these things are related to mental health. And I want to point out a difference. There's mental health, and there's mental illness. And these are the words used in a Western psychological medical establishment. I ain't even gonna go down this whole rabbit hole with like a lot of things that can be related to mental illness. I'm not here to diminish it either. The illness, for me, relates to perceptual abilities of what's going on inside in mental health. Look, you can be a person going through life, growing, changing, developing, having your ups and downs. That's healthy. Right? You put on a pair of pants, suddenly they too tight. Oh, you outgrew them, or something changed, right? It's just like your inner states. They're going to flux. They're going to change. Then there's the experience of someone who might not always work with the same perceptual boundaries that psychology, that Western medicine have defined for them. A person with schizophrenia, a person with multiple personality disorder, a person with autism is having a different perceptual experience in their human experience. I've heard people glamorize some of these experiences. Man, it was even a while ago. It was a while ago, but I even heard some chicks say, oh, I wish I was bipolar. I would be so much more creative. No, that ain't the case. None of it. The way that the person with those different perceptions or perceptual abilities goes about their reality is, number one, they own business. Number two, on them to frame how they want to perceive reality based on how their experience may or may not have a narrative in psychology and society out and around them. Where am I going with all this? Mental health. People who have different perceptual abilities also have mental health. It might look different. It might be languaged or voiced different from someone who has a more able-minded or typical neurological experience. A common perceptual experience. But that doesn't mean there isn't an individual soul, a person there who's trying to understand themselves. They might just have to dig a lot longer, a lot deeper to get to that soul, because their perceptual experience is different from what most people are conditioned to sort of parrot back when they talk about mental health. Does this resonate? Is this something that's helpful? I bring this up because we're both. No? I've been thinking a lot about synthesis and why people change, why some people don't change. I hate it that Elon Musk takes up so much of my time in my news feed. I hate it even more that people are like, oh, he's autistic. Oh, he's this or he's that, and that's why he acts the way he does. Dude is on so much ketamine, he is so disassociated, dead inside. Look, if he's gonna say that empathy is the downfall of Western civilization, I ain't got no business with him. We are not aligned. Mr. Musk, thank you. No, thank you. But I don't appreciate how, even in social media, it's not just established traditional media outlets, but even in social media, people are just perpetuating this narrative that, oh, because he is autistic, or oh, maybe he's on a spectrum. And look, we ain't his doctor. We can't, just like we ain't the Drumpf's doctor, the orange, the geriatric Cheetos doctor. We ain't it, but we can see through direct experience of how they present themselves on stage. We can see constellation of traits and characteristics, make assumptions, but we don't need to perpetuate the narrative. Why wouldn't people like Teflon Mush and Donald Trump change? Part of the reason is that they actually believe the reality that they see with a large, broad stroke. And I think that scares people. I think people get saddened by it, because how these two caricatures of human beings act are not in alignment with many people's values or moral compasses. But their ability to access mental health, to move through the world in a way that validates or is validated by more compassionate people, ain't gonna do it. So we have to be both. Compassionate for ourselves, compassionate for them. Big up the boundaries on ourselves. Radical accountability when they act and how. That's where the dynamic tension allows for the divine to come through. Call it God, call it the universe. It ain't my job to try to course correct some of these knuckleheads, but they sure are giving some other folks with challenges to perceptual abilities with atypical neurology. They sure are giving them a bad rap, and that's not the case. So going even deeper, that maybe you are a person who is conflicted. Maybe the tension is actually within you. Maybe you are unable to give up some of the beliefs that you share with this MAGA framework, or this perspective where if you ain't white and Christian, you do not belong. But you feel like your heart is in a good place. Your head ain't right, but your heart is in a good place. That's a question of mental health. And that, look, that's the first step to doing some of the deep, deep transformation. To let go of some of that being human. Calling in God to call out yourself and open your heart. I think the intensity that we collectively as an American, collectively as Americans, thing that we're experiencing, when we crack it open, when we be with it, we let it go, crack it open, find some more, be with it, let it go. We find the joy. We find the divine. It's there. You gotta make that choice. Bring the light to the darkness. Consider mental health different from mental illness. Consider always the synthesis that can happen, the transformation, the awakening that happens when such dynamic forces, energies go bumpy knucks. It's all an opportunity to blow open your heart and expand your mind.